William Faulkner's Absalom Absalom is the story of Thomas Sutpen as told by four different narrators. First, Rosa Coldfield tells the story, then subsequent versions reveal added elements of Sutpen's story. Thomas Sutpen arrives in Jefferson, Mississippi in 1833. An enigmatic figure, he never reveals much about his past or his reasons for choosing Jefferson as the site for his home. He comes with a group of wild slaves, a French architect, and construction tools. Rumors abound about the mysterious Sutpen, and 2 years later his plantation home is complete but empty. Sutpen's relationship with the community becomes friendlier when he begins inviting the men to come, stay, and hunt on his land. Nestled on 100 square miles of land that he cheated out of Native American, the estate is named Sutpen's 100. Sutpen enjoys violent wrestling with his slaves. This sport, like his ambition to execute his great design for a plantation, indicates his drive to control and tame that which he perceives as wild. To everyone's surprise, he asks for Ellen Coldfield's hand in marriage. The Coldfields are a respectable family in Jefferson, but have little money and are known for being righteous. Sutpen makes an arrangement with Mr. Coldfield, and Sutpen and Ellen are married. They have two children, Henry and Judith. Once married, Sutpen makes no effort to gain the community's approval. He does not attend church and continues to wrestle with his slaves. On one occasion, Ellen discovers to her horror that Sutpen has brought Henry to the stable to watch the wrestling, which the boy finds frightening and sickening. In contrast, Judith secretly watches the wrestling and is unfazed by the violence. As a young man, Henry attends law school at the University of Mississippi, where he becomes great friends with Charles Bond. Henry brings Charles home with him for a visit, and Charles and Judith fall in love. Despite Sutpen's objections to the union, the couple plans to marry. Their plans are interrupted by the Civil War because Charles, Sutpen, and Henry must all go and fight. The men in Sutpen's unit lose faith in their commander and choose Sutpen as their new leader. Meanwhile, Henry and Charles fight together, cementing their bond. Henry and Charles discover that they are half brothers. Before coming to Jefferson, Sutpen had lived in Haiti, where he married a woman and had a son. When Sutpen learned that his wife had black ancestry, he disowned her and his son and left Haiti. Years later, the son Charles enrolled as a student at the University of Mississippi. With this information, Henry insists that Charles tell him what he plans to do after his engagement to Judith. Charles will not say, and when the war is over, Charles and Henry return to Sutpen's 100. As they come in sight of the house, Henry tells Charles that he cannot marry Judith. When Charles responds nastily that he will marry her, Henry kills him on the spot and then flees. Sutpen returns from the war to an overgrown estate where his buildings are in shambles. His slaves are all gone and his wife is dead. Although he plans to marry Ellen's much younger sister, Rosa, when she realizes that he expects her to produce a son before the marriage, she refuses. Sutpen then seduces Millie, the teenage granddaughter of Wash Jones, a poor man living on his land. She becomes pregnant, but when she has a girl instead of a boy, he becomes cruel toward Millie. Even though Wash has always admired Sutpen, he kills him for mistreating his granddaughter. When Henry returns to Sutpen's 100 years later, he stays in the abandoned estate with his sister and Clytie, the illegitimate daughter of Sutpen and one of his slaves. When Clytie thinks that the law is coming to capture Henry for murdering Charles, she sets fire to the house, destroying it and killing Henry and herself.